Alright, so what you need to do here, I see as I play this animation, you can see it spin around, which is good. We've got a start, and of course that's going to spin around a few times, and it needs to go slower speed. So we can make it do that with the duration being, it should take a whole minute to get around, so that's under here it'd be 60 seconds. By the way, I'm on a Mac, you might be on Windows, but the same idea should work. So now it's going to go like an actual clock, 60 seconds to get around for the minute. But this second hand is still having some troubles, right? I'm going to move it so that we can kind of see it a little bit easier, independent of the other things that are going on. So it looks like this one actually is made right. It's got the two sides to it, and this one doesn't have the two sides to it. So actually what I'm going to do is just copy and paste this one. So I hit Control-C, Control-V, and now I can make this a smaller size to match, more of what I guess a minute hand would look like. It'd be a little bit smaller, maybe a little fatter, I don't know, depending on the clock, right? So now I've got something that I can actually animate, and what it did was it actually copied the animation over, and so I'm just going to go ahead and play that and see what it looks like too. And it looks like it just follows the same speed as that one, which is great. We can do that. But all we need to do now is just change the speed then, because it's got the same animation. This can save us a lot of trouble and time. So for minute hand, this is a minute hand, I guess, then it needs to go only, well, it would need to go 360. It needs to go all the way around like a minute hand does, but it would need to take an hour to go around, right? So that's what we're going to do this time. We're going to make it go around just once for an hour. Well, we don't want to do an hour, do we? We just want it to go around. So every time this one goes around, there's a number in the book that it tells us to do, to only spin a certain amount of times. And so we can reduce that number just by using some of these settings. And on Windows, you're going to look into the animation settings by, I think you have to right click on these. But anyway, you can set these. I think you know how to do those. And so, yeah, I guess I'll open up the book and see what the numbers it tells us to do. So in lesson 1, I'm on lesson further along, so I have to go back to lesson 1. It's on page 18, I think. The end of page 18, the minute hand moves 6 degrees in 60 seconds. So we want it to move 6 degrees, not 360, just 6 degrees in 60 seconds. But I think actually we might want to follow the suggestion for the minute hand on the next page, actually. And so that's actually going to move 30 degrees. Because it's going to go for 5 minutes. 6 times 5 is 30. So it's actually going to go 30 degrees. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. Custom is going to be 30. You have to hit enter after you put in the degrees too on these, I remember. And then you go to delay. There's no delay, but the duration is 60 seconds. That's right. And no repeat. Because this is just going to go for 5 minutes until it hits the 5-minute mark. So once we've changed that, we can test it out again and just play the animation. Oops, I think something didn't work quite right. I need to make sure that this is set to go with previous. Both of them should be set to go with previous. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working okay. So I can just play the slideshow though, just to make sure. And then what we should see is the minute hand slowly moving. Just slow, ever so slowly. You barely see it moving, but it's there. And then 5 minutes later, it would be on to the 1 in the clock. So I would do the same thing to get the hour hand. I would copy and paste this second hand again. Maybe this time I'll put it on top of, well, no, I'll just put it to the left of it. And then this is going to be group 42, or the third one, and I want this one to move. In page 19 it says that the hour hand should move just 2.5 degrees. So I change this to a custom 2.5 degrees. And clockwise, oh, I keep clicking the wrong thing here. 2.5, not 25, 2.5. And I guess my Mac's not going to let me enter that in, so I'm probably going to have to choose the closest thing. And that will go, it won't repeat, it will just go 2.5 degrees over 60 seconds, and then I want it to keep going. And so that might be a setting I might have had to push on this second one too to make sure it keeps going. But other than that, I mean, you won't really see the timing of the hour hand because it's just so slow, you know, it's really hard to see it. But we can go ahead and just run this, play it from the start. And so we should see the second hand moving pretty fast, you know, it goes around the clock in 1 minute, 360 degrees in 60 seconds. The minute hand is slowly moving. Obviously we'd put that back over, and then I would probably make the hour hand a lot even smaller than this minute hand. And you know, theoretically the hour hand is also slowly moving, and I think it is. So the last thing to do then would be to put all these back in place, and then of course we need to work on just getting this the circle in the middle and the front. So I right click on the circle and I can say bring to the front, and that shows up in front of all of the different hands, and that should fix it. So hopefully that helps you.